Hello and welcome to Trickpedia, and we are finally done with the first test match of the England versus New Zealand series at Lord's. Let's see who performed the best in this review segment of the first test match. On the show today, quick summary, Captaincy Masterstroke, inspiring story, watch out for him next time, and M Factor question. Let's summarize this test match quickly. What happened on day one? On day one, you had a brilliant debutant show his class on the main stage. Devon Conway scored 100 and actually showed that he belongs to this place. And the way he batted was so effortlessly. He was driving the ball. He was driving James Anderson and Stuart Broad for fun, and he just showed how classical he was. At the same time, you had another debutant on the other side, Ollie Robinson, who got 2 wickets. And big wickets. He got Tom Latham out. He got Ross Taylor out. So it was pretty even when we came to the end of day one. And you know what? New Zealand got 246 for 3 wickets. A pretty good score. What about day two? When we shifted to day two, Devon Conway still just wanted to score runs. He didn't want to stop. He went on to score a double hundred on debut. Sensational player. What a player. I mean, double hundred on debut at Lord's is something everybody would dream of. People would just dream of 100. This guy went on to score a double hundred against the Englishmen in their grounds. And it was unbelievable the kind of batting performances he gave that day. Henry Nicholls reached his 50, and New Zealand added another 100 runs and ended on 378. Got all out and had a decent first innings total. The Englishmen came out to bat, and Rory Burns and Joe Root handled the innings, and by the end of day two, they brought England to a good, respectable total of 111 for 2, still trailing by more than 250 runs. Then moving on to day 3, we had no play on day 3, and probably that is why we didn't have a result in this test match. And on day 3, it was pouring at Lord's. There were a lot of expectations that we can still play, because over there cricket can go on till around 6:30, 7:30 as well, because of the kind of light that's available there. That's around 12 a.m. here in India. That's the kind of light available. But unfortunately, that couldn't happen because it was drizzling, and all of a sudden started pouring at the latter half of the day. And that's the reason you didn't have any cricket on day 3. Play resumed on day 4. Joe Root was looking formidable, and all of a sudden, the New Zealand bowlers pierced through that English batting lineup. And all of a sudden, the Englishmen were falling off like pins, and they were not able to face this kind of quality bowling. And Tim Southee was simply exceptional, got 6 wickets. But on the English side, there was a very special performer. Rory Burns got 100 at Lord's himself. And from the English side, he was the only batsman who found it comfortable. And that too, after batting for a long period of time, he was kind of piercing gaps, was playing well. But overall, the English batting wasn't that great, and they got all out by 275, still trailing by 103 runs. The New Zealanders come out to bat. Their main objective was trying to hit runs and score runs as fast as possible. And they tried to do that. And in that again, they lost their main batsman. Again, Kane Williamson didn't have a good test match. He got out on 13 in the first innings and on 1 in the second innings. And at the end of day 4, New Zealand scored 62 for 2 after playing 30 overs. And they're leading by around 165 runs. The next day they had to bat early morning, and they started on day 5 pretty fresh. Ross Taylor was hitting shots freely and then started getting out. So then they decided to declare when their score reached 169. That is, they were leading by 272 runs, setting England a target of 273 runs in the last 2 sessions. England managed how much ever they could, but in the end scored 170 runs from the loss of 3 wickets, and New Zealand couldn't get them all out, nor could England score the runs. And because of that rain day when there was no play, this test match ended in a draw. Overall, it was a good game of cricket. Unfortunately, we didn't get a result, but we got some brilliant names coming up in international cricket. Ollie Robinson from England and Devon Conway from New Zealand. What a player was he? He was awarded the player of the match. In this segment, we are going to talk about Captaincy Masterstrokes. Which captain actually pulled off a masterstroke? I would say Kane Williamson did. Because any analyst, and including me, everybody was saying that New Zealand are going to open with Tom Blundell and Tom Latham. Just because they have been a successful pair and both have been scoring good enough runs. Then Kane Williamson came with this idea of opening with Devon Conway and giving him the big stage to perform. And boy, he did perform. He scored 200 runs in his debut innings at Lord's, and he did it effortlessly. The kind of shots he was hitting, the way he was batting showed everybody that he was belonging to this place, and he was so comfortable while batting that he was driving He hit a 6 to reach his double century. How many players do that? You need to be really gutsy to do that, and he actually did that. He pulled that ball over square leg and it went all the way into the stands. And well, that's the kind of player Devon Conway is, and I hope to see a lot of him coming in the series and even in the World Test Championship in all these years that he's going to play for. What is the inspiring story of this match? At the age of 29, if you make your Test debut, many write you off that you're too late in making that Test debut, because great players have made their Test debuts at the age of 20, 21. One made it at the age of 16. We all know who he is. But they say at the age of 29 you're coming to the Test arena, you're too late. I don't think you'll have time to show your skills to the entire world. Well, Devon Conway did it. You'd be surprised at why am I using his name in every segment. It's because how special he was in this entire Test match. At Lord's, what he did, there aren't many. There people, the great batsmen of cricket, not got 100 over there. So many innings at Lord's. They've played different series against England at Lord's, but have failed to get 100 over there. And this guy on his debut gets a double 100. How special is that? Who are the players to watch out for the second Test match? James Bracey. He was phenomenal as well in the entire domestic season. But when it came to the international stage, James Bracey got out for a duck in his debut. That's not the way you want to start your Test career. Got 3 catches behind, but they were easy catches. They weren't the tough catches that, that he leaves a mark on the Test match. Not something like that. But if you see him bat in those domestic county leagues that he plays in England, you'll realize why is he such a special player. There are many great players who have started their Test careers with horrible scores, but have ended up scoring so many hundreds, so their average is always above 50. That's why I'm saying James Bracey is somebody who's really special. Ollie Robinson. Now, because Devon Conway has scored 200, there's a lot of limelight that shifted away from Ollie Robinson. But don't forget, he got 7 wickets in his first Test match, including Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor. Both LBW right in front. They are good balls that he got wickets too. I'm so tempted to make him one of my players to watch out for in the next Test match. But after what has come in the social media, that he has been suspended from all forms of international cricket because few of his old Twitter tweets have gone viral and they weren't really comforting tweets. A lot of horrible stuff was written in those tweets, and that's the reason a very special talent has been suspended just after his first match. Now the first Test match is a draw. Let's see what happens in the second Test match. Last time's M-Factor question, how many matches did Stokes play in IPL 2021? Whom did he play his last match against? And we do have a winner. The answer was correctly said by Raj Malhotra. Stokes played 1 match and it played against Punjab Kings. Well done, Raj. Today's M-Factor question, who is the only other New Zealand cricketer to score a double 100 on Test debut? Do comment below. If you enjoyed this cricketing fun, do like, share and comment. And to know more about my upcoming videos, do subscribe Crickpedia and hit the notification bell. Thank you.